Alright, today is a follow-up video, but today isn't the follow-up that most people were likely expecting, namely the angry comments about Earth 2 being a real business with real potential that would become just like Ready Player One, because today will be a response to what most of those comments said rather than what they wanted. Recently, I did a video about Earth 2. In my eyes, it's either A, a delusional group of pathetically idealistic idiots who think that they can redefine the entire virtual entertainment sector with a small team, limited resources, and the largest undertaking, possibly, in the history of technology, or B, a pyramid scheme and a scam that will never deliver and was never intended to. Take your pick, it's still a bad product. Well, that video caused a lot of anger in a small, overly enthusiastic group of fans who decided to make it known that there's no way that they are involved in a scam and I should do my research. Many of you are probably thinking, okay, cool, that's what this will be then. A more researched, longer iteration of my Earth 2 analysis in response to all of that feedback. Wrong. That video has already been done, and it's been done quite well, actually. Big Fry TV did a long-form analysis just yesterday, which dives into the team behind the project, the future potential of the idea, the competitive environment, all sorts of different things. And doing one myself right now would be kind of redundant. I'll link that down below for anyone interested. Instead, I'd like to cover something else, because another piece of feedback that began to show up quite frequently was the insinuation or flat-out claim that I had been paid by a competing platform to slander Earth 2. And that is what I would like to discuss today, one of those competing platforms. Credit for a large amount of the information leading to this video needs to be given to an anonymous source on Twitter who reached out via direct message. In my head, it seemed categorically absurd. Earth 2 is already a joke, so how and why would there even be competition for that? Well, as the saying goes, a fool and his money, you know the rest. So it turns out there is competition, and one of those competing projects is called Planet IX. Planet IX is, well, why don't I just play some of it for you right now?
Planet IX is a game, a digital copy of the planet where players can buy, collect, and trade picks, which is how we call the lots of land. People will get packages and then go into the marketplace and then they can sell, exchange, buy directly from other players. Play smart and you're gonna get rewarded. The philosophy is quite simple. Like, we believe that every player should have equal chances to win. Even if you don't put too much in the game when you start, you will maybe score a pack of legendary picks, which are extremely valuable. We partnered up with a tree foundation, and we're gonna plant like tons and tons of trees. And those guys do not only plant trees, but they have like really beautiful social work happening. And I think with the success of the game, the more players we have in the platform, the more trees we're gonna plant, and we're gonna keep doing this beautiful social work. But like gameplay-wise, I think the most exciting part for me is the land picks, which are like NFTs. NFTs, cryptocurrencies, bitcoins, etc. We have a fully dedicated team just working on it. And the main focus of them is, of course, building something that works and makes sense, but also demystifying the entire thing. Because when you say NFTs, when you say bitcoins, cryptocurrency, a lot of people say, no, that's not for me. Soon we'll have tutorials online and showing like how easy this entire NFT world will be.
That's a lot. That's a colossal amount, actually, because in just a minute 30 flat, this project manages to combine social and environmental activism, NFTs, crypto, digital world building, gaming, loot boxes, and honestly a whole bunch more. Planet IX will sell random rarity picks, which will be bought and sold on a market. They will combine gaming with digital asset investment and economic functions, but most importantly, as per their own advertised framework, they will launch in 3 separate stages. Sound familiar? This digital world will apparently change the actual world, and since I've now been accused many times over of being in bed with the competition, let's talk about the competition. Who is this man? Who is he, and what's his background? What is Planet IX, and who is behind it? These questions, and a whole bunch more, need to be answered because Planet IX is not some sort of revolutionary technological advancement in the world of gaming and virtual reality. Planet IX is a scam from one of the largest networks of digital fraudsters and marketing gurus on Earth. That man was Jonas Werner. I won't even afford him the basic respect of looking up how to pronounce his name. Jonas Werner is the founder of Crowd1, and Crowd1 is the company behind Planet IX. Now, it's easy to establish what Planet IX is once we establish what Crowd1 is, and to do that, we need to look at their history and their business model. Crowd1 self-advertises as some sort of high-tech, forward-looking, revolutionary crowd marketing company. They claim to have the ear of almost 30 million unique people, and they operate under the premise of building wealth. It's a fundamental promise as old as time. Do what I want and you will be rich. Join us and secure your future. But nowadays, become one of our salesmen or marketers or affiliates and be millionaires. It's almost too complex to even start. Crowd1 is a pyramid scheme, more commonly known today by those with an utter lack of intellectual competence as a multi-level marketing opportunity. Crowd1 represents the entrepreneurial manifestation of greed and manipulation. The business model revolves around education. The more education you buy, the more money you will earn. And no, that's not my rhetoric, and no, that's not similar to the education system in the real world where you go to college for a degree in some sort of field with a high entry salary. That is an exact quote lifted from one of the seminars that these cockroaches sell day in and day out to the desperate and hopeful. Crowd1 revolves around various packages. The package you buy lets you earn money based on how many more people you sign up and will persist for a certain number of levels down the pyramid. For a much more complete explanation, I will link to a video down below, courtesy of Ayanda Charlie, working for BBC Africa. That video details in depth what Crowd1 really is, but also contains a narrated and visualized graphical representation of how their business model operates. She did an absolutely incredible job and is well worth your time to watch. In addition to that, I discussed heftily with another creator named Sid Alpha in the DMs. He seems to also be interested in the topic, and I would expect that he covers it at some point himself. If he does, his channel is linked down below in the description. If he doesn't, his other content is excellent as well, so definitely give him a follow. Back on task. The premise is simple. Get people in and then get them selling. Sell a product that means nothing, but continue to sell down the line. Always sell, 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 sell like a cult. Sell down the line, and those at the top secure the lion's share of all profit. In fact, Crowd1, selling their education packages, which can cost as high as 3,000 euros for less than 2 hours of content, by the way, is really just scraping motivational marketing drivel from around the web. Drivel that is free and open source on plenty of other websites, and repackaging all of it as some sort of get-rich-quick program. It's pretty much the standard practice for those who rely on colloquial turns of phrase as some sort of life-changing charade. And it is, of course, true here as well. Crowd1 skirts just enough legislation by tying their pyramid scheme to a digital product in air quotes, however worthless that product really is, in order to circumvent global legislation. They are a pyramid scheme, but to the letter of the law, they are mostly allowed to operate. But even so, they have in fact attracted the eye of regulators around the world, who even issue official fraud warnings against the company owing to its obviously shady practices. The Czech Republic, New Zealand, Mauritius, South Africa, the Philippines, Norway, Namibia, Paraguay, Gabon, Vietnam, Cote d'Ivoire, Slovakia, and Hungary have all issued such warnings, official fraud warnings, among others, a bunch of others that I'm probably just not aware of at the moment. They are known around the globe as fraudsters. And to create a thread here back to gaming, we can look at Emerge Gaming, which operates Migster, a Crowd1 third-party affiliate, and is used as a sales pitch, a promotional claim, and a defense of their business model. But Emerge Gaming has, quote, no idea what the motivations of its 150,000 subscriber user base really are, which is a direct result of their partnership with Crowd1 because its platform is used as an affiliate marketing scam to lure in vulnerable people and is quite literally damaging to their image as a publicly traded company. Crowd1 is recognized by numerous regulatory bodies around the world as a scam, and their product, Migster, is just another funnel in that scheme. BBC Africa calls it, quote, the most audacious scam we've ever seen, and their partnerships are literally damaging to everyone but themselves. Emerge Gaming is also accused of not conducting their due diligence when they accepted over $8 million from Crowd1, and the list will go on with twists and turns the longer you look. Here's where I have to go rapid fire because an explanation would derail into an hour or more at least of links and affiliations. The founder of Crowd1, Jonas Werner, previously held a central role in Synchronize Springlow, I think it's called, where the entire business model was a pledge to younger affiliates that they would obtain big money if they invested $500 each. The company dodged enough regulatory specifics to avoid major headlines and jail time, but soon after, Jonas Werner became part of OPN Site Talk. OPN Site Talk got accused also, numerous times, of operating a pyramid scheme. And then in 2016, the company became a part of OneCoin, For those that are unaware, OneCoin was one of the most notable cryptocurrency scams thus far, facing a full range of legal ramifications for operating a no-holds-barred scamming ring. Somewhat unrelated but worth noting, the CEO of Crowd1 at the time was fired from the technology company MyCube, which he himself created. I just think it's pretty interesting that someone fired from their own company as CEO is coaching the masses on how to remove negative people from their lives and how to create the right momentum, using all of the disgusting slick-speak marketing jargon that easily manipulated masses fall for.
Don't believe the naysayers who are suspicious and negative, because they are the type of people that will just hold you back. You can do anything you want. Set your mind to it and just do it.
I have over 70 tabs open right now on my desktop, each containing different pieces of the puzzle that is Crowd1. There are small YouTube accounts promoting every single thing that Crowd1 launches, expecting some kind of return. There are individual statements about the exact moment that Crowd1 devalued their promotional currency and robbed nearly everyone who was affiliated with them of what they had been working for, by aggressively lobbying their friends and family to join this scam. There are business licenses in Cyprus with questions about who owns what and who exists where in the chain of leadership, because the company knows it has been constructing false products and selling them through loopholes in pyramid scheme legislation. There are tabs about leadership members within Crowd1's affiliate companies, like Impact Crowd Technology, such as Tor Anders Petero, who is known in his home country as the Pyramid King, and how once that information was discovered by BBC Africa, it got cleansed as quickly as possible from the internet. That man has openly stated numerous times that he looks for and accepts leads on anyone trying to start a multi-level marketing scheme, and has been served with penalties for scamming numerous times in the past, even seeing a suspension of his business license, I believe, because more than 5 of his companies apparently went bankrupt. It's a pattern. Sverker Karen, on stage leading a Migster presentation, remember Migster, is listed on certain MLM fraud awareness boards for his involvement in the EXE and Vanguard scams, and the list goes on and on. Nearly anyone and everyone you can find who is involved with Crowd1 at a high level is a fraudster, a scammer, a liar, or a cheat. It might be beating a dead horse at this point, but there are legal descriptions from regulatory bodies around the world of why and how Crowd1 operates, and why they should be completely avoided. But most importantly, there are videos and Facebook posts with incredible and unachievable claims, I firmly believe that, unachievable claims, about Planet IX. Planet IX is the latest creation of Crowd1, and Planet IX exists to fleece its investors with yet another multi-layered affiliate marketing scheme where money goes in, enriching those at the top, most importantly, and the bottom falls out from under you. This time around, they decided to spice it up with randomized rarity up to legendary, so Earth 2 with loot boxes, and they can't even create their own original scam. They have to copy another one that's already out there. Everything is predicated on getting in early and then getting more people in after you, and you get some of the money that they spend, but not most of it. Everything hinges on more recruitment and more new members. And I don't need to rehash or reiterate what that means in the grand scheme of things, but everyone should understand that this model is recurrent and it's very aggressive. Planet IX hasn't actually launched yet. It hasn't sucked tens of millions of dollars out of the pockets of desperate people, sold on a dream that doesn't exist to enrich a few greedy criminals at the top of the pyramid. Actually, maybe it has. It is, after all, marketing to a user base in the tens of millions under the global network that is Crowd1. But it's still in a phase where some people might be susceptible, and it's beginning to ramp up speed with the aggressive and dishonest marketing. Don't listen to these people, the salesmen, the affiliates, the people who feed you something that sounds like the dubbed version of a foreign film, but the audio just doesn't match up. They say something, and it's like a disembodied voice from the ether, because their words aren't their own. They are brainwashed servants in the army of recruiters and salesmen who have become nothing more than the extension of a charismatic leader, driven by a company that preys on the weak and vulnerable to expand its own reach. I hate these people, probably a lot more than I actually should. I struggle with this in my everyday life now, if we're being completely honest, because having seen what they say, how they say it, and the atmosphere that they love and create, I feel sick. I can't tolerate being around it. I can't tolerate even witnessing it. And if I had my way, it would be totally eradicated. The idea that someone will propose easy fixes for complex problems only to lure and manipulate the weakest, most vulnerable minds among us is abhorrent to me. And most recently, I saw many of them surfacing in defense of Earth 2, desperately trying to deflect criticism. But their method of deflection was to claim that I am in service to a different, arguably far worse, scam. That's wrong, and it's also offensive to me because I hate all of them equally. Earth 2, Planet IX, whatever else there is, if it preys on people who can't help themselves with promises that aren't real and likely never will be, I despise it and I always will. Planet IX is an extension of the lies and manipulation peddled by Crowd 1 and its brainwashed affiliates. It is a blend of gambling, token environmental activism, and over-conceptualized hyperbole that pretends there is, somehow, an ultimate ending that isn't a total investor wipeout based on the methodology and business practices of its parent company Crowd 1. But when reality calls, it will be harsh. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they take this particular video down or DMCA something or send a slap suit, but I don't really care because it needs to be said. I see it everywhere now. The selling, the hype, the delusional, manipulative language, and it's punctuated with the fear that these people will somehow affect or transform those that I love or those that my loved ones love. I think I'll take a break from covering these scams and predatory businesses for a little bit though, because it's really started to affect me. In the past few months, some of the known entities who operate in specifically illicit ways have begun to exit Crowd 1. Renze Dielstra, one of the top recruiters for the entire company, has purged a great deal of video content relating to the pyramid scheme and taken his leave. He's about to operate some sort of personal company which reeks of the exact same type of scam. Another top recruiter, and I applaud this man, I really do, who seems to have drawn a line in the sand, opened up publicly about the thousands that was promised and never came. He felt, after working for Crowd 1, that he had betrayed those that he recruited, promising them thousands only to lead them into a scam. And even the CEO, Jonas, whatever his name is gone now, which is something to note. Hopefully the scam is falling apart. I don't really know. The network is huge and it's already negatively impacted so many people, so I don't even know the ramifications if it were to fall apart, because there could be some people who are actually financially relying on it. And this part is completely off script, but I want to bring it back down to a more human place because I really have a problem with these people, these businesses, how they operate, what they say, the atmosphere they create, and the impact that it has on families, loved ones, people around you, what they try to do based on that just to have an income on this fraudulent business plan, and all of it. I've really begun to struggle with it. So I wanted to bring it back down and try and humanize it, that if this entire thing falls apart, it's going to impact a lot of innocent people, not just the scammers who are stealing most of the money at the top. So it's a really complex problem. That's it. If you want to support, there are links down below. Best place is Odyssey, which is a YouTube platform alternative to watch my content. Also locals, $5 a month, and you get nothing other than the knowledge that you support the channel and the creation of the videos. Hopefully that's enough. Also merch, another set of YouTubers to check out, social media, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night. Oh, and definitely don't sign up for Crowd 1 ever.